Are conferences going to happen in 2021? Yes, they are. Are they going to be different? Yes, they are. The world has changed, and I just this past weekend I was with my son at a soccer tournament, and there were two teams that were in his division that could not come because of COVID-19 protocols. So what's nice about the league he plays in is that they have a disclaimer that says, hey, if your team can't make it, we refund, and they have some kind of disclaimer that they understand. Most conferences and conventions and big live events should have something in place. So check. I mean, use common sense and say, hey, if something happens and the convention or conference is canceled, am I going to get our funds back? Are we going to get our deposit back? What have you? So obviously do due diligence and make sure that that's in place. In some cases, not. So does that mean that, oh, you just shouldn't plan for it, you shouldn't budget for it? I would still budget for it. I would still make it your best effort to go, because I do think that there's going to be less. However, people are still going to want to go in certain areas. So I think that kind of you need to make a decision based on the geographical area you're in. We're in Florida, and things are kind of, I'm not going to say normal, it's Florida, but they're somewhat open. I think across the country, you just need to make that call. Outside the country, again, it all depends on what your municipalities, local, regional municipalities are all about as far as the mandates and regulations. Be wise, be safe, but I would say that don't just write them off, because even there's a lot of conventions, conferences, and whatnot, events that are now happening online and through Zoom or live events. Those are awesome opportunities as well to get your brand out there in alternative packages. And I actually think that could be the route things go, where it's half online, half streamed, and half face to face, what have you. So think of that from that standpoint of, hey, we should still set aside dollars. We should still, in a sense, plan on going, but what is the fallback? What are the other scenarios in place? If you're more conservative, we're like, nope, we're not going to go. That's fine. Budget for 2022. Hopefully, vaccines and everything take place, and everything's in a better state a year from now. One thing I want to mention as far as conference design, it's kind of a little bit off topic of what the question is, but I did want to address this, that the trend I would see is more is going digital, in the sense of, there used to be these, $7,000 booths and $40,000, full grids of two different, stations. I'm a fan of, hey, there's something that's very cheap, affordable right now in our space, and that is LED screens. So you can, in a sense, present in a different format where it's not the traditional metal beams and pipes and all this craziness, and set up as a nightmare, and you have to have a team come in and install it. Instead, why not just have, hey, stands and some nice backdrops, tablecloths, the throws, the normal content, things that you need to pull it off. But think about that LED content and try to bring an engagement, whether it's QR codes or scannable content that people can engage with if you have a limited team and staff at the booth. But again, think of it, this is the perfect time to rethink how you're going to pull off conventions, conferences, and events going forward. I do hope events come back. One of the biggest things I'm sad about are the live concerts, live indoor venues that it's going to be a while. So I think, though, that from a business standpoint, organizational standpoint, think about, hey, here's how we're going to address it. Maybe it's going to be 2022. We're going to put money toward it and budget and reallocate funds. Or this might be the year where you kind of redesign your collateral. Look at all the gear and wear that you have and that you give out for free. And tchotchkes is one of our favorite office words. But think about all that and say, hey, this is the time now we're going to get everything ready for 2022 or the end of the year or Q4 or what have you. But think about that, because you do have to shift. Just like last year, a lot of budget maneuvering took place. But if you're still going, hey, you're in good shape. Keep going. Be positive. Things will get better. Thanks so much. And again, if you have questions on this, as far as, hey, we want to redesign this year, we want to take down our old collateral because it weighs 1,000 pounds and we want to go a different route, that's great. Also, one last note on the LED tactic and strategy we use is that I always say LEDs are so inexpensive. You can buy a 65-inch for $400. I always say try to plan it where you can donate to a church or a nonprofit organization in the area after the event. In some cases, some established events and venues, they have that set up already for you. So make sure you reach out and you can make it tax deduction as far as a donation goes. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.